In this first video, Dashcam footage from a truck captures the exact moment of an ambush. The footage shows multiple individuals alongside the highway using an improvised roadblock made of tree branches to force drivers to stop. These individuals were reportedly illegal immigrants angered by the recent demolition of a makeshift camp they had set up. As soon as the truck stopped, they climbed over the guardrail and began throwing sticks, rocks, and even chunks of concrete at the driver. Fortunately, the driver managed to get past the roadblock, though he later reported fearing for his life. Despite escaping, he sustained multiple injuries from objects thrown through the windshield, ultimately requiring medical attention. This footage, taken at 1:30 a.m. on a quiet Sunday, shows dashcam video of a car traveling along a deserted country road. As the car nears an intersection, a hooded man appears standing with his head bowed in the middle of the road. As the vehicle approaches, the man attempts to walk in front of it, forcing the driver to stop. The man then lunges toward the car, screaming, prompting the driver to speed away. The driver later reported that he frantically tried to call and warn his wife, who was traveling on the same road about a minute behind him. Unfortunately, he couldn't reach her in time, and she experienced the same encounter. To this day, the couple remains uncertain about the man's intentions, whether he intended to rob them, take their cars, or harm them in some way. This next footage, taken on a dark and isolated road, begins with a seemingly normal drive. As the car rounds a bend, an unusual figure dressed in a suit, carrying a briefcase and an umbrella, suddenly appears in the headlights. Moments later, an identical figure comes into view, both retreating into the long grass. It quickly becomes apparent there are multiple identical men scattered in the grass, all seemingly startled by the vehicle, as if caught off guard. Further down the road, another figure holding a flare is visible, casting an eerie light across the scene. What happened next remains a mystery, but many speculate that the driver may have stumbled upon a cult ritual in progress that night. This video, captured on a dashcam in October 2014, shows footage from a parked car in broad daylight. Inside the car, the driver rolls down the window, remarking on something unsettling. Then, a man wearing a disturbing mask can be seen circling the vehicle. The driver initially seems to think it's a prank, chuckling nervously, though she mentions there are 5 others in similar masks not visible on the dashcam. However, the situation quickly escalates. The masked individuals shatter one of the car's windows and rob the driver, taking all her valuables. Her horrified screams echo throughout the video, marking a frightening turn from what initially seemed like a strange joke.
Those are so creepy. Where'd you get it?
This may result in back taxes being reduced by thousands of dollars. An open phone line.
Where did you get them? Come here. What are you doing? I'm not getting out of the car.
Take down this number now. 800-630
This unsettling footage, filmed in the dead of night in a desolate Saudi Arabian field, shows a driver approaching a mysterious white figure in the distance, appearing to hold a cane. As the car moves closer, the figure starts limping toward the vehicle. After a few moments, the driver begins to panic, audibly distressed. The driver, visibly alarmed, starts shouting commands at the figure, roughly translating to "back up" and "get away from my car." Toward the end of the video, the figure emits a chilling shriek directed at the driver. The encounter is haunting, and to this day, it remains unclear exactly what the driver witnessed that night. This footage, captured by a police cruiser's dashcam, shows 3 officers assisting the owners of a broken-down car on the roadside. Midway through the footage, the officers suddenly turn, reacting to a noise, and immediately scramble to avoid a car hurtling toward them at high speed. The vehicle narrowly misses the officers and skids to a stop further down the road. The driver, later identified as 26-year-old Cedric Keith Henson Jr., was found to be intoxicated. While the parked vehicle sustained significant damage, fortunately, no one was injured in the incident. In 2016, a strange killer clown phenomenon gripped Americans for several months. This trend involved people dressing as clowns, with some simply aiming to scare people, while others committed robberies and even kidnappings. During that time, a family driving home in South Yorkshire late at night had a chilling encounter. Their dash cam recorded a clown stepping out in front of their vehicle, standing motionless and waving for a few seconds before suddenly sprinting toward the car. The driver quickly reversed and after a tense moment shifted back into drive, causing the clown to finally move aside. This video captures dashcam footage from a police cruiser in Texas. In it, the car in front of the cruiser suddenly swerves and brakes to avoid an object on the road. As the cruiser gets closer, it becomes clear that the object is a woman lying unconscious in the roadway. Fortunately, Sergeant Scott stops, wakes the woman, and helps her to her feet. It was suspected she had been intoxicated, having run her car into a nearby ditch and then walked back up the road before passing out. Disturbingly, the footage shows just how narrowly she avoided being run over multiple times before Sergeant Scott arrived to assist.